Hi, this is Jason Nickleby, Assistant Director with the Minnesota State High School League, and this is football officiating training tape number 1 for the 2023 season. I want to thank all of the officials from Minnesota and across the country that are preparing by doing scrimmages and practices and exams and modules and all those kind of pieces to get ready for this upcoming season. Really excited to get back out there. We'll be starting with a few games this week and the full slate of games next weekend. So keep up the great work. Proud of all of you. Couldn't do it without you. So keep up the great work. We're using the film from the last year's championship games to uh, demonstrate really good officiating, also some areas where we can possibly improve, with the goal of getting as many officials and coaches on the same page as possible relative to what are the expectations for mechanics, positioning, philosophy, application, situational awareness and management, all those kind of pieces that go into being a successful official. And I want to thank the officials from last year's championship games for being willing to be part of these tapes and having folks learn from their great officiating and also some areas where maybe we want to get better. So not trying to pick on any one team or player or official or crew, just trying to get better from these clips. And we feel that we've done that as a state over the last several years. So again, appreciate your efforts, your willingness to go the extra mile to be ready for the season, and look forward to working with you this year again. So with that, let's take a look at some plays. Okay, on this first one, I want to talk mechanics and some rules. So you see it's 4th and 10, first quarter, and the quarterback's going to roll out to the referee's side. So if you notice the referee's positioning, this is where we want referees to be. The only thing I would say is try to back out of there a little bit quicker, back up straight so that you don't get run over. But now you have a pretty good vantage point of where the free blocking zone was, and you're officiating inside out. So you're officiating from the middle of the field out towards the boundary, and you're going to have a really good vantage point for roughing the passer, targeting, and those sort of things. We don't want to chase in a banana type maneuver like we used to. That tends to make us get straight lined when there's contact with the passer. So this is exactly what we want to do. That what the referee does, lets the quarterback pass, stops, pivots, officiates inside out. Notice the line of scrimmage officials are holding the line. That's really good. That's what we want. And remember that when the passer vacates the free blocking zone, they've left the lateral boundary of the free blocking zone. They have the ability to throw it away. So that's probably what this quarterback probably should have done, but it was 4th down, so he's trying to get rid of it. Understand that, but he did have the ability to do that if he wanted. So really good positioning, mechanics. Only thing for referees, I would just suggest that you back up a little bit sooner to make sure you don't get caught up in the wash. Umpire maintains a really good position and good depth, and then you see that the line of scrimmage official at the top of the screen comes back and gets the forward progress spot, and we're able to do that because we do not vacate the line until a pass is imminent, which it never really happens. So do a really nice job of covering this play. Nice mechanics, good positioning. Just the one suggestion for the referee. And just a reminder, with the rules change this year, if the passer had thrown the ball away, he would have been fined to do so because of the exceptions in Rule 7.5, beginning on page 63, that says that if the passer has possessed the ball beyond the lateral boundary of the free blocking zone established at the snap, and the pass reaches the neutral zone or the neutral zone extended beyond the sideline, and they are the only player to possess the ball after the snap ends, they can throw the ball away legally. So as soon as number 2 passed the right tackle, past the free blocking zone boundary, he had the ability to throw the ball away. And remember that the free blocking zone disintegrates once the passer leaves it. So in this case, you see that he comes back into the area of the field where the free blocking zone was. If he were to throw it away right here while he's in what was the free blocking zone and gets it to the neutral zone or in an area occupied by an eligible receiver, no problem. He can ground it for there, because going back into the free blocking zone does not recreate the free blocking zone. It already disintegrated. So once the passer left it, he's able to throw it away legally, provided he doesn't give up the ball, and he doesn't do that here. So he would have that ability to do that. Fourth down, unlikely to do it, but he does have the ability by rule to do that. And just remember our mechanics on keeping track of the free blocking zone. And then if we are going to have an intentional grounding foul, it needs to be a crew call where the referee, line of scrimmage, and back judge and potentially umpire would have a conversation about all those pieces before we put the flag on the ground. But overall, really nice coverage, very nice mechanics, staying home line of scrimmage, referee officiating inside out, and umpire maintaining good depth. And I'm sure the back judge did a great job on this play too. So nice job by the crew. On these next two plays, I want to talk about back judge mechanics. So notice there's a minute to go, second quarter, so pretty likely passing situations for the offensive team here. And we're going to have a deep pass down by the goal line, and the back judge is in excellent position and demonstrates excellent mechanics, just what we want to see. So we start out 20 yards or so from the line of scrimmage. We turn our hips and go, and as the action is taking place, we come to a stop, which is really going to help us improve our accuracy on ruling if there is any defensive or offensive pass interference or nothing at all. And so we get into a back pedal once we read pass, but then once we know that receivers have the potential to pass us, we really need to turn our hips and go. We're not as fast as these players running backwards as they run forward. And so we need to turn our hips and go, which this back judge does. And then as this play is occurring, he is stationary. His eyes are not moving. And then he gives it 2 swipes to indicate incomplete pass with no foul. So this is really well done. We keep a nice cushion, stationary, two wipes, excellent mechanics, just what we want to see. Very nicely done by the back judge on this play. And then on the very next play, we're going to have another pass, and the back judge is going to once again demonstrate excellent mechanics and spacing between him and the wide receiver and the defensive back. Comes to a stop, is on the goal line, officiates this next play just as well. So I just wanted to point out really excellent back judge mechanics. Read pass, back pedal, turn our hips and go when we need to. Try to get stationary to rule on possible contact, and be on the goal line as we are in this case is ideal. And so we demonstrate perfect mechanics, just what we want. Hand fighting, both players playing the ball, no problem. So no foul in either case, good defense. And we're able to rule on that based on our very good positioning, stationary, calm, under control mechanics. Just really well done by the back judge on these 2 plays. Okay, on this one, let's talk line of scrimmage mechanics and cross-field mechanics. So we have a pass in the flat. We do a nice job of working deep into the white, take a step or 2 into the offensive backfield, and let the play flow in front of you. That's going to be a much better vantage point. It will keep us out of harm's way if the runner were to get driven out of bounds here, and we're able to dead ball officiate from there and pick up the spot as a secondary piece. So we would move out into the backfield as we do here. And what we would want to do, a couple things, just a suggestion, is one, line of scrimmage official, if it's that close to the sideline, go ahead and give a wind indicating that we're going to keep the game clock running. It's close enough that the game clock operator might be wondering about that. So go ahead and give it a wind. And then the other piece is, as it relates to the forward progress spot, not as critical to get to this spot. So let's officiate players from both teams, make sure that we keep an eye on them the whole time, and get in there and clear players, and then we can move up field and pick up the spot from our partner across the way, because they're going to be getting to that progress spot, and we can pick them up with cross field mechanics. Or we just have it in our mind that it's on the 37-yard line and we can go there later. But notice that number 56 and 18 are right by each other, and we really don't have an official in the neighborhood. Now, nothing happens, no problem, but just in case something were to happen, we want to make sure we have a physical presence there and we're using our voice. And I will say that referee and back judge do a nice job here of getting to the area to assist with cleanup, using our voice, cleaning up the area, dead ball officiating, and then we move on to the next play. So nice job overall. Line of scrimmage, let it flow in front of you. We take a couple steps in the backfield, officiate from behind, just maybe not as quick to come up and get the spot, and give it a quick wind, and then make sure we clear players in the dead ball officiating responsibilities. But we do a nice job of getting to the piles, referee and back judge, and clearing. Just make sure that 56 and 18 get to their spots before we move on to the next down and our next responsibilities. So nice job by the crew, good mechanics. Okay, on this one, let's talk goal line, red zone mechanics as it relates to the whole crew, but back judge specifically. So we're going to have a really tight catch, no catch in the front end of the end zone, and back judge is going to make a nice, calm, decisive ruling. Good catch by number 80. Gains firm control. Remember, when we're talking about a catch, we need to have firm control, body part down in bounds, and then we need to have an act common to the game, lunge for a first down, or take a couple steps upfield and run, or those kinds of things. And if we go right to the ground, then we need to survive the ground to complete the process of the catch, which number 80 does here. Maintains control throughout the process. Even if it slightly touches the ground, he maintains firm control, and so we do have a catch and a touchdown. So good, solid ruling on that, on this play. Remember, line of scrimmage, inside the 10, we're going to go right to the 5. So we should be doing that already. And then as the play develops even longer, we should be moving right to the goal line so that we can be in position to assist on this particular play. But likely in this case, it develops pretty quickly. So we're probably going to be at the 5, maybe moving towards the goal line as this play occurs, which means back judge, you're going to have to own this one. We do a nice job of being calm, nice calm signals, nice calm mechanics, indicate touchdown, good judgment. That's all good. The only thing that I would recommend back judges is you were in good initial position in the middle of the field on the end line. Remember, when we're inside the 15, back judges, we're going to start on the end line. Okay, anywhere else, we're 20 yards downfield. So if it's at the 16, we're going to be about 4 or 5 yards or so into the end zone. Inside the 15, starting on the end line, roughly the middle of the field in most cases. And that's where we were to begin this play. So we're in really good initial position. Let's just stay there and just turn and pivot and officiate this play, and then move as you have to after the action takes place. I think when we moved laterally, so to our left in this case, I think we had the potential to block ourselves out from this catch action, because now we're looking through number 80's back. And I think if we would have just stayed put and officiated from our spot, just turn and pivot and be stationary, I think we would have had just as good of a shot to rule on this accurately. Now we made the right call. We're nice and calm and under control, but I would suggest not moving here. Just stay put on the end line, turn and pivot and officiate this action. And then if as the play comes to an end, we can move towards it and get closer, make sure that the receiver has firm control of the ball and those kinds of things. Just like a catcher, catching the ball on a play at the plate, they're going to show you the ball and they're going to call them out. Same thing here on a catch. Let the play happen, develop, finish. Then you can move towards it to make sure that he maintained possession, control, and so forth throughout the process of the catch. And if he does, give him a touchdown. That's what we do here. So that would be the only suggestion. But overall, really calm, under control, good initial position, and we handle this play pretty well by the crew. So nicely done. Okay, 2-point conversion here. So goal line mechanics, but also some mechanics we need to use for the try. So notice we come out into a formation that indicates we're going to go for 2. I realize that umpires, you're likely going to go under the post as kind of your initial position, and referees, you're typically going to be on the left-hand side for most right-footed kickers, that is. Understand that piece. If you have a pretty good idea that a 2-point conversion is going to take place, we want to be in our normal positioning like we would for any other offensive snap anywhere on the field. So that means umpire in the offensive backfield, referee, you're going to be on the right-hand side, and so forth. So that's kind of the initial thing. But if not, if we go to our normal try down positioning, so umpire under the upright as you see here, and notice they're going to go for 2, then totally fine. Step forward and be in that the old position for umpire, right in the neighborhood of the linebackers. That's no problem, and the referee is able to adjust here. Next piece is what we just talked about in the previous play. That line of scrimmage officials, anytime the ball is snapped inside the 5, as it would be on a 2-point conversion, we need to make our way to the goal line immediately. So we do that here. Probably could have got there a little bit quicker, but overall, pretty good. We're there. We're stationary, nice and calm, and make a very solid ruling for short of the goal line. So nice job of getting there and being stationary. Maybe get there a little bit quicker right off the snap. And then anytime that we're at the goal line and we have the ability to move backwards, try to move back as far as you can as time allows and space and so forth, just to really open up that vision of plays at the pylon, because those are really tough plays. And remember, line of scrimmage officials, you're on your own. This is a call that you have to make. No one else can make it for you. And the deeper we get and the quicker we get there and get stationary, the better chance we're going to have to make an accurate judgment. And so we're in good position. We're stationary, no issue. Just if we can work a little bit deeper, I think that would be ideal. But notice on the replay here that it appears that the ball crosses the goal line, penetrates the goal line in possession of the runner. But if you look at the replay here, you'll notice that the knee is down prior to the ball penetrating the goal line, and then he extends across the goal line. And this is a proper ruling for short of the goal line, and the try is no good. So we eventually do the mechanic of like the incomplete pass mechanic of the try is no good. So that's good. We eventually get there, but this is a really accurate judgment as far as being short. And this is called double action. So when a runner's knee goes down and then we extend, we want to be careful about giving them progress on double action, because it gives the appearance that he made more yardage than he should have. And in this particular case, when his knee is down, the ball is at about the half-yard line. You see it a little bit better in this look from the opposite side. you can look and see the knee down right there, and the ball then crosses the goal line. So short of the goal line is the proper ruling here, but just want you to be aware of double action, because we have a tendency to give them more yards than they should when they're already down by rule. So work to the goal line right away, get deeper if you can, be aware of double action, but nice job of getting stationary as deep as we can be and make a nice ruling on this. Nice job. Okay, free kick mechanics here. So first thing I want to take a look at is the kicking team players. Let's talk about philosophy on encroachment on the kicking team. So if it's a regular free kick like this where we kick it away, no problem, then we are going to be a little bit more lenient relative to encroachment. So the only way we're going to have an encroachment foul is if we actually have a foot on the ground beyond K's restraining line at the time that the ball is kicked. If we have a leg or a body part or something like that that is past that line, but there's not a foot down at the time of the kick, no problem. We're going to move forward, and that's what we have here. So we do a nice job of passing on that. So that's the first thing we want to talk about, is our philosophy relative to encroachment. Then the second thing is our mechanics and where we're looking. So notice that we have a foul on this play for offensive holding by the return team. And we're going to have a takedown hold right at the 25-yard line, right at the point of attack, and referee's vision is right where we need it to be, and the referee picks up this foul. So really well done by the referee. Excellent vision and mechanics. This is where we need to be. So referees and line of scrimmage, we stay on the goal line. Line of scrimmage stays at the pylon until the ball is possessed. Nice and calm, under control. That's excellent. That's perfect mechanics, just what we want to see. And we like the line of scrimmage officials at the goal line. That's part of our Mechanics Illustrated, because we feel they can assist with blocks like this when they are officiating from behind and officiating forward. So we would like line of scrimmage to have a peek at this block, but ultimately, because this is more towards the middle of the field at the hash, this is more likely to be a call that the referee should pick up, and that's exactly who gets this. So really well done mechanically and judgment. Point of attack, material restriction on the player being blocked, and we have a category of a takedown. So since we can answer all three of those questions, we would want an offensive hold called here, and we do call that. And the only thing I would suggest referees, this is a foul that the kicking team is going to take, so no need to have a preliminary signal. Just communicate with your crew what you have, then flip on the mic and say holding by whomever on the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down, and then let's move forward with the next play. But really good vision, good mechanics, and a good job of picking up a holding foul at the point of attack. On this last one, let's talk fumble mechanics and judgment philosophy, and how we want to handle those. And so we have a running play to the side zone at the top of the screen, and we're going to have the ball come out, and it's a proper ruling for a fumble. The ball is clearly out prior to the runner being down by rule. And we allow this to play out, and we have a beanbag by line of scrimmage, and then both back judge, and you see the ball is out with his knees clearly off the ground. Back judge comes in to clean up dead ball officiating. Line judge, in this case, not the down judge, comes in because we switch at halftime. And we have beanbags, kill the clock, communicate, and point that the defense has recovered. So nice coverage, good judgment. Remember, on fumbles, if we're not sure, we have to see leather. We have to see body part down to rule that the runner is down. If we're not sure, we need to leave it go, because there is a very significant percentage of time where the ball is out on these kinds of plays. And if we're not sure, we need to err on the side of allowing it to play out, because if we're calling the runner down, that means we've seen the ball and we've seen a body part down inbounds. Therefore, the player is down by rule. And in this case, we properly rule fumble. The ball is out, kill the clock, 2 swipes, and point. Nicely done. Only thing, line of scrimmage, since it's a running play, try to let this play develop in front of you. Let's not overrun it, because if we don't want to be even up with the runners, I appreciate the hustle. That's great. But let's let this play develop in front of us a little bit and officiate from behind. We would have had a perfect look at this. We had a great look at it as it was and made the correct judgment, but we would have had the perfect look if it would have stayed from behind and then beanbag and then come in, kill the clock, and point. So good judgment, good use of philosophy, that we need to see leather, see a body part down inbounds to put the runner down. We don't have that. Beanbag, 2 swipes, and points. So nice mechanics, nice judgment, good use of philosophy, and then finally good dead ball officiating. So very nice example of quality fumble mechanics and officiating by the crew. Okay, that will do it for training tape number 1. Again, a number of examples of mechanics and positioning and things we want to consider, especially for back judges and line of scrimmage in particular in this tape. But over the course of the next 8 training tapes, including this one, there will be a number of examples of really good mechanics, things we want to see, positioning, and so forth. And that's what you can expect from these tapes moving forward, that they're going to be really good examples, ones that we want to emulate most of the time. There's some things we want to clean up, but overall, some really good examples of good officiating. So nice job by the crews in these particular plays, and something to have discussions with your crew as we move forward in preparation for the season. Hopefully you're able to get out and work a scrimmage this weekend, get some snaps in before the games start the following week. So with that, have a great week, great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.